As Dangote Refinery fights back allegations by Nigerian upstream and downstream petroleum regulatory authority NMDPRA that its refined products are inferior to imported ones. A letter seen by This Day, our sister publication, has shown that the regulatory authority approved the firm's in-house laboratory for the testing of crude oil products. The official communication dated March 28, 2024, and addressed to Dangote Petroleum Refinery and Petrochemicals Lekki, said the laboratory had satisfied the minimum requirements for accreditation. The matter is coming to the fore after a public altercation between the managers of the facility and NMDPRA as to the quality of products churned out from the $19 billion refinery. President of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, had on Saturday said products refined at the facility, the world's largest single-train refinery, were of superior quality compared to imported equivalents and met international standards. Dangote insisted on testing other diesel products alongside Dangote's diesel at the refinery's state-of-the-art laboratory. Dangote emphasized that the findings debunked claims made by Chief Executive of NMDPRA, Farouk Ahmed, who recently asserted that imported diesel surpassed domestically refined products.
In terms of quality, when we started, our quality was about 600 to 650 ppm, and the 600 to 650 ppm is one of the best in terms of quality. Okay, at that time when we started, but as of today, we are 87 ppm, and I assure you, media, you can come again and take sample on Monday. By Monday, latest Tuesday will be at 50 ppm. By beginning of August will be at 10 ppm. So in terms of quality, we are doing very, very well. Nobody can produce anything better than us.
5 minutes ago.
So I just got the result from him 5 minutes ago. We are now down to even 32 ppm. And I want to plead with the regulator to come at any time, whether Sunday or Monday. We'll take the sample, and I guarantee you, before he gets here, our own ppm will be even below 10.
Right, Rufai, this is kind of story I hear, especially with regards to the state of the NMDPRA. Wonders shall never end, where you come out to, rather than speak up about an indigenous organization, you say it is inferior. Your take on this story, please.
You see, I'll talk as a statesman first before I knock out all the other analysis. I just hope I'm given the time. Whatever is going on between the regulators and Dangote Refinery is bad optics for Nigeria. A couple of months ago, the chairman of Total in Africa was saying that it's difficult to do business in Nigeria. And we see how other foreign oil majors are going into deeper waters and trying to pull out of the ecosystem. And this is giving a lot of them a vindication. Dangote said the other day that some of his friends are now laughing at him for investing in Nigeria. And that's the sad reality. Please, people should leave political interests, personal sentiments, and whatever their personal gain will be aside to support our own businesses, just like I always clamor here, and our own indigenous manufacturers to be able to boost the economy. Because those sole economy you go to import, if they didn't put everything in place, you will not have a place to be able to import from them. So whatever it is, all the stakeholders should come into a room and solve all of this and stop putting this in the public glare and the media eye, because our foreign competitors are watching and they're laughing at all of us. And the truth is, nobody's going to take Nigeria serious as regards any business. I just hope cool heads will prevail. Secondly, the back and forth between the regulators is not necessary. What the regulators said in the first place was very indicting and very bad. And it has shown the number of part per millions of sulfur that is even in other products that were bought and screened by the Dangote lab. So even if the regulator calls for independent verification, the empirical proof is always there. And increasingly, the refinery is saying that they're going to reduce the sulfur content, and they're increasingly reducing the sulfur content. I also see a mismatch also with the marketers, people that are bringing products in. For whatever it is, everybody must sit down around the table because this looks very bad for Nigeria as we speak. I think henceforth what I would like to advise is both the regulator, the other oil marketers, and Dangote Refinery should get out of the media space. If it's possible, put all of you together in a room, probably with President Tinubu in there, lock yourself in a room, have an amicable resolution, let every party be a winner in all of this, or let every party gain something in all of this, and stop bringing all of this to the public sphere. This media warfare will not augur well for Nigeria. Now we need to think of national interest and we need to support one another. In the end, let's remember we all share something in common. We are all Nigerians first and foremost. Though tribes and tongues may differ, but in brotherhood we shall stand here.
All right, Dr. Martin.
Okay, I think it's a very ugly development. And the net effect of it is that if a local investor who says he has not used his money to buy houses abroad, has invested his money and energy in Nigeria, is treated this way. And we say at the same time that we are looking for investors. Which investor will want to come to a country where even local investors are not treated well? And I think that is the reason why President Tinubu, who campaigned on the basis of being a progressive politician, being pro-business, being pro-investment, being pro-growth, has to take a special look at this matter. He should not treat it as something that is just happening in the midstream and downstream sector, because at the end of the day, he will be responsible for whatever effect this has. That's number one. Number two, the Nigerian government tried to do steel. They failed. Ajakuta Steel and Oshogbo rolling mill. They failed with it. They tried to do aluminium smelting. Nigerian government failed. They tried to do railway. It is not working. They tried to build the refineries. They've been on refineries since 1966. The refineries are not working. In 2007, this same Dangote tried to buy, I think, Port Harcourt Refinery to fix it. They took it away from him. There was monopoly in the cement industry, I think Lafarge. Dangote went into that cement factory, invested there, and was able to break the monopoly of Lafarge. And now he has gone into the building of refineries. The refinery, $20 billion. The man is so frustrated that, okay, I think it's this that says he's fighting back. Well, when you push a man to the wall, he will fight back. Because this is a case of things that other people cannot do. They are disturbing the person who is doing it. And so the man says, look, he's 67. He will soon be 70. Okay, if you have the money, come and even take the refinery and go and manage it. But of course, if the Nigerian government takes over that refinery, you know what will happen to it. What the Dangote refinery needs is support from the regulatory agencies. What is it that he has done to the regulatory agency that they cannot sit down to nurture that refinery? Okay, in December last year, in March this year, as recently as March 19 to 2024, the NMDPRA gave the Dangote refinery an approval saying that its equipment and personnel met the minimum requirement for laboratory testing. In that same Dangote refinery, they have a sulfur recovery unit. There's nowhere you will have crude anywhere in the world for diesel and all that there will not be sulfur content, even if you buy from Russia. Now, the Nigerian crude is called what they call sweet crude, Bonnet Light. Now, the onus is on the Nigerian government, to make crude available so that sweet crude will be easier for the Dangote refinery to process, instead of having to invest so much money to bring the ppm, the sulfur content, in the sulfur recovery unit to 42 ppm that Alhaji Dangote was quoting. We have heard that some people are afraid of Dangote, where Dangote himself had said that the oil mafia in Nigeria is worse than the drug mafia. This has just been proven right. It's just been, vindicated. We are hearing stories about depot owners, tank farm owners, who feel threatened and all of that. Well, I don't think that Dangote should pose a threat to other players within the value chain. Instead, the job of the regulator should try to be to see how all of them can work together so that other people will be encouraged to invest in this environment. Some other companies, were also mentioned, I think Walter Smith and Aradel. But the truth is, look, a government that campaigned on the basis of encouraging investment, encouraging local productivity, should not be seen to be doing this. It sends a bad signal, and it's not good for the image of the Tinubu administration.
And that is the summary of it. In terms of, for me, it's just the look and what it signals to not just local business owners and local investors, but the international world. We keep talking about Nigeria being the haven of investments, yet if reports like this come out in terms of how a regulatory body, Nigerian regulatory body, is giving a lot of flack to a Nigerian-owned business and investor in Nigeria, then it definitely sends a wrong signal. If you're not supporting your own, then how much support or enabling environment for business would you provide for an international organization? It is these kinds of news that would deter people from wanting to invest their money in Nigeria and not, go abroad and just put their money somewhere. He's even talked about not pulling away from the steel, like you mentioned, the steel, investment in steel and opportunities that could come. This is the same Dangote that in 2016, at some point, Time Magazine had talked about how he had contributed 10% to the GDP of Nigeria. Talk more of the number of jobs, number of people that rely on their daily bread or for their daily bread from jobs from his conglomerate, and then now coming out to see this kind of backlash for him, and at one point support, and then on the other end, almost as if it were blacklisting or shadowing its organization. Beyond this, I think it's important. This is the power of being able to tell your story. In recent times, Alhaji Aliko Dangote has come out to talk about the journey towards the Dangote Refinery, how difficult it was, how he went against good sense as adjudged by some business people across the world to invest in his own country, to see hopefully that Nigeria will finally be able to overcome the challenges that it's had with crude oil, PMS, fuel, and the other products that come from our crude oil supply. But unfortunately, this story has demonstrated the fact that not only are there challenges to setting up a business in Nigeria against all odds, against what people have said, don't even dare touch it, against what banks and where he would have gotten facility for the refinery had come out to say, what are you doing? Is this not a journey of madness? Against all that, still went ahead to do it because of his pride in nation and his contributions to Nigeria. Unfortunately, now when it almost seems like victory is ahead, finally we're about to get to the point where we will see the results of the hard work, the sacrifices, the madness, in quote. Finally, when we begin to see the results of that, we then begin to see backlash from your own people. Talk about betrayal, and that's why I started earlier on by saying wonders will never end. It is almost as if what is really the regulatory agency's position, what is really the regulatory agency's aim, what are they looking to do? I think it is very bad. And when we talk about demarketing the nation, demarketing Nigeria as a place of doing business, to say that our crude oil or is inferior to what comes from abroad, this is taking a penchant for foreign-made goods to a different level. How can you cut off your nose to spite your face? Like Rufai mentioned, this is bad, to come out and then keep on giving press interviews talking about how bad and castigating the Dangote Refinery. It's not just about the Dangote Refinery, it's for every business in Nigeria, every indigenous business in Nigeria, every business owner who has, against all odds, decided to invest and do business in Nigeria. It is protecting their interests, not just for Dangote Refinery. Move on to our next story this morning. As a report by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries reveals that Nigeria's average daily crude oil production increased to 1.27 million barrels per day in June. While the figure is still below the OPEC quota of 1.5 million barrels per day, industry watchers and stakeholders in Niger Delta believe that there is a significant improvement due to the work of security agencies, most notably the activities of Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited and the community engagement model adopted by the company. Ovieteme George reports.
For decades, Nigeria has been losing much of its oil wealth to thieves, vandals, and perpetrators of illegal bunkering in the Niger Delta. These activities were preceded by armed agitations which brought Nigeria's daily oil production to an all-time low, in addition to friction between oil companies and host communities, leading to protests by the youth expressing dissatisfaction with the status quo of communities in a region blessed with natural oil and gas reserves. Normal oil production resumed following the introduction of the Presidential Amnesty Program in 2009. However, a disturbing fluctuating dip in oil production over the years has been a subject of economic concern for the federal government. This led the Muhammadu Buhari administration to engage surveillance contractors, including Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, as one of the stopgap measures of halting the erosion of the nation's wealth.
First, it has solved some of the key problems within our region in terms of insecurity, in terms of employment, and other social engagements that has multiplier effect in the overall lives of our people.
Because of the operations of Pipeline Infrastructure Limited, government are beginning to see more production, more increase. The areas where they have clamped down, nobody's going back there again. So it's a free flow.
Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited is wholly a Nigerian company and provides security services that consistently meet local and international standards with proven cost-effective, innovative solutions through the deployment of state-of-the-art technology and modern-day equipment to deliver its work of securing the Trans-Niger pipeline in states of the Niger Delta region of Nigeria.
They have tried. They make everywhere in Niger Delta that there's been peace. It was the effort of the pipeline infrastructure that make share to pump, achieve NMPs everywhere now. They pump successful.
The Niger Delta is one of the most polluted wetlands in the world. This is often attributed to sabotage or equipment failure. The establishment of illegal refineries, popularly called fire, also had effects on the economy, environment, and public health, particularly in Bayelsa and Rivers states, where soot, a black powdery or flaky substance consisting largely of amorphous carbon produced by incomplete burning of organic matter, was in the air.
Before they took over, everywhere bunkering activities were going on. For past 2 years now, if I don't make mistake, you see that you can wash and keep aside. You can't see those black point again. Most of the youth that they were part of the bunkering, they have engaged in.
Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, the activities have helped in reducing the incidence of oil spills, reduce the emergence of fire camps or refining camps, and in that way, they have helped in reducing negative environmental issues relating to the environment.
Pipeline of 2.7 kilometers.
Delivering a speech at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja, after a meeting with heads of all security and intelligence agencies, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, stated that achieving the desired economic stability would be impossible without curbing oil theft and other crimes in the Niger Delta region. The core mandate of Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited is to provide security and surveillance services to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited by partnering with government security agencies and also the youth in communities where there are critical oil and gas natural resources. The whole essence of this work in the Trans-Niger pipeline area of the Niger Delta is to ensure an increase in Nigeria's daily oil production to meet the OPEC quota of 1.5 million barrels per day and even more than 2 million barrels per day from this part of the Niger Delta. That, it is believed, will ensure economic stability in Nigeria. From Kolo Creek, Ogbea local government area of Bayelsa State, Ovieteme George, Arise News.
Bye.